department, by the way. I just want to say that.
Thank you. Welcome to office hours for Wednesday. I think it might be March 13th. That could be a real thing. How is everybody doing? Good. We did a little check-in before we started recording. And welcome to Janine, who just joined us. The sun will move soon, and you guys will get to see your new view out the window here, which is pretty fun. Our new place is on the 18th floor in a tower looking over False Creek in Yaletown. Thank you, insurance company. So we have a lovely backdrop for you in a variety of different locations over the next little while. And as the sun goes down and the glare stops, you'll be able to see all kinds of fun stuff out there. So if I'm boring, then you'll still be entertained by whatever's going on in the water. So I know Janine wanted to talk about a thing, and you're going to have to remind me what it was, Janine.
So it was Messenger, using Messenger. There's a
Messenger bots.
Chat bots of some kind. And I just wondered if anybody had ever tried it before, because it sounded like if you particular, because the demographic I'm going for is kind of older women, not like, and a lot of older women use Facebook. So I was assuming I could get some track eventually, once I get my whole line of books ready. But it's just I'm just curious about if anybody's used it or not, because it seems to be the new email, except it's controlled by Facebook. But
Mark Dawson has had great success with the chat bots in Facebook, and in his Ads for Authors course, there's a whole module on it. So I'm just working through that stuff. So I will definitely kind of let you know what he recommends. But I did listen to, I think, an entire webinar that he did on those and how to use them to kind of engage with people and then to get them onto your mailing list.
Yeah.
So, one of the primary ways to use it is to help channel readers into the right streams of your books. So if you're somebody who has multiples, he had it set up like a choose your own adventure where so if somebody, and I don't remember what triggered it, if it was somebody friended you or whatever, it immediately sent a message that said, hey, thanks for, connecting. What kind of things do you like to read, X, Y, or Z? And they would pick, and then it would say, okay, well, which of 3 locations appeals the most to you, or which of these 5 types of appeals? Okay. And it sort of narrows it down, and then it says, eventually it narrows it down to the point where it's like, okay, well, you can get a free book to test out in this series that fits all these requirements if you pop over here to my newsletter list, or it's tailored to whichever book it narrowed down to, or whichever series it narrowed down to. And it was a really neat way to interact. And I feel like if you go to the Self-Publishing Formula site and you look for Facebook Messenger bots, just as a topic, I think I did a masterclass podcast on that, talking about it. And that would be a good place to start because it's got really a neat way of using it that's not spammy and it's not salesy. It's just like, let's play a little choose your own adventure game. And so, you can really make use of that. And then by the time you get to the end of it, you've been back and forth with them a little bit. You get some information about what kinds of books they like, and then can direct them into the right type of stream. So that was really a neat way to use it. Some people just welcome people to their sort of
Facebook
sphere of influence or whatever, and say thanks for becoming part of my book club or my team or whatever you're calling it. Some people use it for VIP readers, I think. So if you're recruiting people to be on your street team, or to be a beta reader or a review crew person, you can also use it to kind of start off the interaction, because it seems like it's coming directly from you and it feels personal, even though it's automated. So that's another way to kind of work that stuff in. So
they said it has something like a 70% open rate, which is really high compared to newsletters and emails and such, right? So.
Yeah, exactly. And different people, I think, a lot of the time who are opening versus your mailing list. So, I think the strategy is like engage with them there, but then also try to get them onto your list if you can. So you double up on your opportunities to connect in one way or the other.
Yeah, I think it's always, you want to get them to the list, right? Which I have nobody on my list, but you want to get them there because you have control over the list. Whereas if Facebook decides to change their tactics, you won't have that. You don't have control.
Yeah, exactly.
Anymore, right?
Exactly. Did you have a sense of like how you were thinking about using it, or any particular questions?
I thought I would I just wanted to, because I just was intrigued by the whole thing, but I thought setting up the Facebook page and then driving people to get onto your email first would be useful, but also to be able to push out when you have a book out, like to say, hey, you've been waiting, it's out today, so that it's kind of immediate and people kind of can go, oh yeah, and it's easy to really click from a messenger to go to Amazon to purchase the book, or to wherever, Kobo or whatever, right? If you send them a newsletter, it's less. So emails are better, but anyway, it's just, especially if they're people that are on Facebook a lot, it just, then they get that kind of interaction. I don't think I would do it a lot, because I actually signed up for somebody's newsletter. I can't remember when it was about, but she kept sending me these damn things, and I was just like, go away, right?
Yeah.
So I think so I just totally got rid of her entirely. Whereas I think if she like told, if it was when I had a book, or when, like, intermittently, I just don't want people bugging me, especially people I don't know, on my messenger, because it's kind of I think it's more personal almost than email these days, because with email you get so many emails and so much spam and potential, or things you've signed up for, you can't remember, wonder why I signed up for that, but anyway, you're still getting it, right? And so you're trying to get off all these damn mailing lists. But when it comes to messenger, I don't get messenger by too many people except people I know, and so to me it's much more intimate in a way and more personal, so I would not want to take advantage of that, because I think that's that would just push people away. So anyway, that's my thought on it.
So I think there's definitely a good thing to think about as you're setting up the channels is, what do you want people to do from that first interaction? Where's the most benefit to get them? If you assume they only ever do one thing, what would be kind of the most impactful thing they could do? So I think if you have a perma-free book that's on Amazon or wherever, then directing them to somewhere where they can get a sample of your work to see if they love it is a really good first place to drive them to, because then they can decide if they like it. You're going to have a call to action to join your newsletter and stuff at the end of that book, right? Or to buy more books or whatever, which is a natural part of the reader experience now. People expect it. It's not intrusive. It's not weird.
In fact, they're looking for it if they're interested in your reading. It's like you get to the end, you're like, well, what else do they write? Like, where's the list? Right?
Yeah, where's more? I want more. Where do I get all of them? And in which order do I read them? And all those questions. So it's a nice way like to think of reader flow. And so if it was that they reach out through Facebook first somehow, like often, because he puts Facebook ads that drive people to the page, and then that welcomes them, and then that's what triggers this stream. So it's an interesting way to do that. So, and he does it, I think the first one might even be checking in to make sure they got the free one or something. There's a few different streams of them depending on how people come in.
Right.
And there was I forget the name of the program he used to set it up, but I will find it and remind you all after I finish that module.
There's something about monkey or chimp, or anyway, there is a monkey bot, or it has a picture of a monkey on it.
Yeah.
So anyway, I'm all the way there. I just wanted to set it up. Sorry?
On the subject of newsletter subscriptions, I unsubscribed from an email today.
Mhm.
It took me to a thing where it gave me an option of, do you want to completely unsubscribe or do you only want emails this frequently? And it gave me options of once a month, once a week, whatever. And so I just deselected to once a month instead of completely unsubscribing. So
Yeah.
I don't know if that's something that can be set up.
Yeah, it is. I have that where when people hit unsubscribe, they get a choice of, did you really want to go or do you just want to hear about new releases? So they can opt to just do new releases if they want. So that is an option. But yeah, you can definitely set that up no matter which provider you use. Most of them have that as an option. You can customize your unsubscribe page. And you can also make it branded as you, which is kind of fun. So like mine, if people unsubscribe, it says, are we really breaking up? It's like, and it does this whole little patter about, maybe we just need some time and some space to think about this. And if that's the case, that's fine. But if not, I really hope we can stay friends. You're always welcome to like come back into my life at some later date. So it's just this funny little like thing, using the same imagery as some of the sign up stuff with this like funky, like awkward little couple. But, it's just another opportunity to brand the experience for people. And sometimes that's enough to just make them laugh and leave with like a positive kind of thing. And then the other thing to customize is your 404 pages. So if you get a web page that's broken, somebody will come to your site and it'll just say this page not found, but you can customize those. And so same thing, like I did this one, it just got the same couple who are like, like busted kind of making out. And it's like, oh, we weren't expecting to see you here. Like help you find what you were looking for. So again, it's just a silly little fun thing, but that way it's not a wasted opportunity. And then you can direct people back to your homepage or your books or, you don't know why they found that link. It could be completely random. So you can be like, oh, well, I'm an author. What were you looking for? Why don't you come check things out? And it's just a fun opportunity to convert people. And like not many people take the time to do that kind of thing. And so it does stand out to people, I think, that, it's just the little extras that they can get a feel for you. And if you put your personality, your brand, your genre kind of tone in there. Maybe it's a body in your closet or something. If you're writing thrillers like Eileen, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't have bodies in my closet. That would freak me out.
Skeletons, no skeletons.
I couldn't actually read her stuff before afternoon because I'd have dreams about it. It would be horrible. Too much of a wimp. I was going to ask you also, when you're connecting I've almost finished this website, but I'm trying to connect to my email. So I've got, did you do a thing about that? Because if you did, I'll just go through and look for it.
Sorry, you're trying to connect your...
when somebody signs, they want to send you a note, it's supposed to come to your email.
Oh, your contact form.
Yeah, that thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, why don't I answer Bonnie's questions about Adobe subscriptions? If you bring up your site, then you can just share the screen and we'll do it together.
All right.
I don't think I've shown that at any point yet. Okay, so Bonnie's wondering about Adobe subscriptions versus other options. I found images I like on stock photo sites, and I have my own images I'd like to modify, but often they're too big or need to be cropped to be uniform in Divi modules. I couldn't see how to crop within Divi. So should I get a month subscription to access Photoshop and Illustrator just to resize and change colors? Don't want to pay for a whole year when I plan on only using the edit features for a website setup and then nothing else planned. Okay. Jenny.
There's also some other software called Snagit that doesn't have as much stuff as Photoshop, but I think you can get a free trial on that, and it's pretty much, you should be able to do what you need to do.
Yeah, there's a whole bunch of image manipulation programs. So like in Canva, you can crop stuff and change stuff and make things similar sizes. And there's PicMonkey used to be a thing. There's a ton of free apps for iPad and also apps for computers that will do that. if you did want to go with the Adobe stuff, you don't need Illustrator to change colors and things. You can do all of that in Photoshop. So you would just need one license, and you should be able to get a month free trial.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
there's a lot in Word now too, you know, when it comes to manipulating things.
yeah. Well, all the tutorials that I keep finding are Illustrator and Photoshop, and so I'm like, okay, but you know, there's Photoshop, and then if you want Illustrator, it's a second level of pricing, and
yeah, you don't need Illustrator for sure, and probably don't want it. It's pretty complicated, to be honest. And there is a Photoshop Elements, which is also cheaper. I know Heather has that one, but
old version of that, and I've been trying to do things, but of course all the videos are your version, and it's much slicker, and I'm like, really? I could change my entire photo to go from green tones to orange tones? That's so cool, but I can't do it when I have.
Right.
And I don't know how to buy that outright. I couldn't figure that out.
They are really expensive.
Oh, okay.
And I don't think they even offer that anymore. Like, I don't think you even can. When I first bought the Creative Suite, it was $3,000.
Yeah, no, I meant the Elements.
Yeah, I don't think you can buy it outright anymore because they need you to have the updated versions. Otherwise, stuff just doesn't play nice. Yeah. So anyway, there are a bunch of options, and so you know you don't have to pay for the Photoshop necessarily. But if that's what you want to do, you can figure out what you want to do, watch some tutorials, then download the free one for a month, and then play around with it, and then also try the other free program as well and see how if you feel comfortable, or and then make a decision after you've played with all the free stuff so that you haven't committed yourself long term before you kind of play around in the programs. I mean, there are lots of things that are built for Photoshop. So like all the 3D book cover templates and all that kind of stuff, you can find a lot of things with that. So, if that's what you want to do, you can. Do you have a Mac, Bunny?
No, I have a PC.
Okay.
But I like to do more complicated things. Like, it's not just as simple as crop. I could do that anyway.
Yeah. So,
I like to play with the lighting and the...
Yeah, but a lot of the other programs will do that as well, like PicMonkey. I mean, I think 12 years ago, my daughter was using the equivalent of PicMonkey to design her own book covers, and she was choosing the color of eyes and manipulating cheekbones and like doing all kinds of stuff. So there are those available, but if Photoshop is what you want to go for, just download the free one for a month first and get your 30 days out of them anyway, and then make sure before you commit that that's going to work for you.
Thank you.
And Jenny has offered to demo Snagit, which I think would be really cool. So why don't we fix up Janine's contact form, and then
my header too. I need just 5 minutes. It'll take 5 minutes.
Yeah, absolutely. So we'll start with Janine's thing, and then we'll pop back to your header, and you can show us how Snagit works. Okay, Janine, share screen. What you got?
How do I do that, my friend?
There should be a green share button at the bottom on the toolbar of Zoom.
Next to the chat.
Now you're too small. Hang on. Oh, there we are. Green. Thank you. Basic, whiteboard, iPhone, screen. What am I doing here? Dang it. Maybe it's this one.
It should have like your desktop one or whatever screen you see that has our pictures on it. It's probably the new one.
This one's.
There you go.
Can you see that? Okay.
Yes.
So now where did it go? Hang on.
Find.
So here's my website.
Okay.
And so here's my contact form.
Okay. And we want to be on the back side, so you need to be logged in. Right now, we're just looking at the front side.
Well, that's not helpful. I thought I was logged in a second ago. Sometimes I exhaust myself. Okay. Sorry.
No worries.
I thought I was in there. I went in there to get it.
And you probably don't even need to be in your cPanel. You should just be able on your website, just after the .com, have a / and then WP. No, you got to erase the contact part. We want to be on the base, not just the page. Delete, 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 delete. Okay, /
Oops. That's not helpful. Jesus.
Did the foreign language keyboard?
I got the foreign language keyboard. I don't know how that happens. Does anybody know why that happens to people?
It's a shift with something else.
Yeah, it's a combo of keys. Here,
if you can see your little your keyboard on the bottom of your window, sometimes
I'm trying to find it. You can't see the darn thing. Where are you?
You can use the / in the number. Like if you like on your number lock part, you can use that / when the keyboard goes funky.
Alt and Shift.
That's so
Alt and Shift
weird.
should change your keyboard back to regular.
Okay. Let's try that. Alt and Shift, and then we'll try this. Sorry, guys. This is really ridiculous. I feel like
it happened to all of us. I actually deleted the keyboard.
Okay.
I just was like, I'm tired of it doing that to me.
Yeah.
Oh, look, you have it there. Go select it. Go down.
Yeah. Go down. So
Let's
Janine,
go
Laura.
get it. Which one? This one here,
There you
right?
go. Yeah, that's the one.
Okay.
Anytime you're trying to get into your site, the WP-admin should always work
Okay.
to take you to the login page.
Okay.
And then you need to put in your username and password.
Oh my.
That's where it gets tricky.
I can't remember that part. That's the problem. Okay. Why don't we go?
Okay.
How about we go to answer the other questions first, and I'll see if I
Okay.
can get into it. Because otherwise, it'll be painful.
All right.
To
Jenny's
watch, sorry.
turn it is. There you go. You can see outside now. See the boats. There's a marina outside now. Fancy. Okay. Jenny, what about your header? What do you want to know?
Okay, well, she had this beautiful header that spread all across her page. And I want this picture, which is to use, so I don't actually have permission yet. And no matter what I do.
Okay, don't look away though when you're talking, because then we can't
Oh,
hear you anymore.
sorry. So I want this
Okay.
picture spread across the thing, and I've been playing with it with this other border, but no matter what I do, I can't like be spread. So I have this one.
Okay.
It sits there in the middle and it won't be wide.
Okay. So what you want to make sure is that this row, the module in here is actually a full width header. That's the first thing we want to check.
I don't know how to go back and look at it, but
Go in the design one,
Yeah.
layout.
Yeah.
Mm,
Sizing.
maybe sizing. Yeah.
I don't care if we delete the box and start over.
Well, why don't we just add a row and see what that does actually? And is this a global module? Like, do you have it everywhere on your site? I'm thinking no, because it's not green.
No, don't leave the site.
Don't leave the site. Yeah, just cancel. Okay, so where the little plus sign is at the bottom, the purple one. Okay, we're going to insert a full width section. And then we're going to insert a full width header. And that's if you want it, so you want a call to action in it. Is that
Yes.
true story? Okay. Otherwise, we could just use a full width image. Doesn't need to be a full header. Okay. And scroll down a little bit for me. Content. So background. Okay. So right now we're going to take the color away.
Delete.
Okay. Just hit the garbage can. And then I think the third one over is an image.
Mm-hmm.
Click on that and click add background image. And then pick the one you want. Okay. Okay. And now delete the one that's above it.
I need to fix this because now it's cropping it too much.
Yeah. So yeah, you just need to muck around with positioning and stuff. Also, what you need to do when you're doing this, if you shrink your screen, like put your cursor in the corner and shrink your window to make sure like where things adjust.
Yeah.
And I don't mean just like that, but yeah, also drag it in. Yeah. And see where it's cutting off to.
Yeah. We have to do that at work. We work with agile stuff at work. So
yeah, perfect. Yeah.
So
and just make sure it's doing what you want it to do there.
All right. And I think
okay. Oh, we can't hear you at all.
I'm shopping for a microphone. I did start looking at them. The next payday, it's mine.
Jenny is not allowed to move when she talks.
Yes.
That's impossible for me.
So yeah, so I can edit this image and stuff. I don't know why. I mean, I swear I did exactly that, and it didn't work.
Yeah, that happens sometimes. Often I'll do stuff and it won't work, and I'll just do the same thing exactly again. And sometimes I wait till the next day and then I do the same thing again, and then it works. It's the mystical world of techno magic is not always predictable. And then if you find like you've still got a white bar at the top there, it may be the padding on that section, and maybe that the section itself wasn't deleted. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
All these things.
All right.
I haven't done like my website colors. I've got like my whole did all this work. Sitting in a boring meeting.
Nice. Very nice.
Mm-hmm. Paint websites are a really good place to get like a nice coordinating color of things. This was Benjamin Moore.
Nice. Yeah, paint chips are great for that. All right.
So Snagit, you download it and you get this little icon.
You gotta look straight at us or we can't hear you.
Let me change the screen I'm sharing and this over here. That way I can look.
Okay. Sad face 2-year-old.
Oh, okay, that's not gonna work. I'll just go like this.
Donna's not far off. I looked quite a bit like that when I was little, actually.
Okay, so Snagit, you get this little box, and all kinds of stuff that you can do here in these settings, but this is just like the basic setting, and you just hit click capture, and you like mark what you want to capture. And you can take a photo of it, you can take a video of it, you can do all kinds of things. And then it will open up this blue one for you. So you've got the red one and the blue one, and the blue one's where you can edit. So like, let me find one I didn't flatten already. Ooh. Got the fill on, so okay. Let me go back here. So like you can, here you can, like you can crop things. So like, let's say I just wanted this tree for some reason, like take this tree out and then put it on its own page. Like let's say here's like a white page, let's put it on that one. So I can do that. And I can actually like move this totally out of the picture if I want. Crop it totally out. I can use that fill, so I can here with another color. You can blur things out, so like that's what I was doing. I got tired of blurring it out because I don't have permission from the author yet. Oops. Taking this blur
was just blurring this picture out so I could play with the header, but not actually show her copywritten material.
Right.
And emails me back and tells me how much she wants for it, that image. So you can
Gotta look at us more.
you can put the text on it. You can, you know, change the color of the text. So it works out if you do it beforehand. You can change the color of the text. You have all your do like little call outs. You can point at things. But you can do a lot with manipulating pictures. All these other things that you can do. You can crop things out. Like if you only wanted a little bit of this picture, you can do that. And depending on which thing you pick, it like it's out part of the picture and you can't even tell. You have pens and lines and highlighters and pictures. And so I used to have, like 10 years ago, I used to have like Corel Draw, which was kind of like Photoshop Lite. And I can do everything with this that I used to be able to do with that more expensive software.
Mm-hmm. Cool.
You buy it, it's like less than $100.
And is that like a lifetime license? And less than $100 American, I would guess. So like 130-ish Canadian, which is actually the same as Photoshop for a year.
Yeah, I always thought Photoshop was more expensive.
Well, you can get Photoshop for $10 a month on the Creative Cloud license. Yeah, it used to be like $500 minimum to buy it, and then there'd be a new version like every 2 years. But now that they've gone to the cloud licensing, like I paid $69 for like every single program Adobe has. But you just get like one.
So American, it's $49.95.
Oh, there you go. So yeah, $100.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, that's really neat. That can do a lot of things.
Yeah, it's like,
and that's a PC program? Is it PC only?
it's for Windows and Mac.
Okay.
I don't have a Mac, but
neat. And in German and French, if you are so inclined, apparently.
Just to make it harder.
Yeah, in case you need a bigger challenge. All right.
And then awesome. If anybody is interested in this, like I'm really good at it, so I can help.
Excellent.
Or, if you just have something little you want to do and you want to send me, and we'll get on a WebEx and figure out, and I'll just do it.
Awesome. Okay. Let me exit full screen. I'm losing the light in here. Be a bit of a game to play for the first little while, figuring out where and how it all works. All right. Did we get, oh yeah, GIMP. That was a thing. Okay. Does anybody have other questions, other topics of conversation they would like to cover? Janine, you found your login. Okay. We'll do that first then.
I was excited about that.
Yeah.
I had to actually, sorry, I had to go leave because I had to take a phone call. But yeah, so it's in this contact page is where this is.
So go to edit.
Yeah.
Okay. And where, there we go. Okay.
Yeah, taking a while today.
Yeah. Scroll down a bit. There should be the contact form section.
Come on. Why aren't you scrolling?
Sometimes it gets cranky about screen sharing and stuff at the same time.
Maybe that's what's going on.
If you can't get it to scroll, we can stop sharing and then scroll down to where you're at the section and then start sharing again.
So strange. Okay. All right. Email opt-in is where I want to be. Now I will share my screen again.
Okay.
Okay, there we go. So it's here.
Okay, so is that what we're calling the contact form? Or did you actually have a email opt-in?
That's what, I think that's what I'm calling the contact form.
Okay. Click on the, no. Your contact form is the thing above it. So you've got two different things in here. There's two different pieces.
Email option is for my, sorry, that's for my.
That's your newsletter sign up. Yeah.
That's
okay.
my
So let's
newsletter.
start with
That's my other challenge. I for some reason I can't get that to work either, but that's
okay. Let's start with the contact form. So click on that.
That there's a tutorial for that one. I just need to know.
There is, yeah. Okay.
And I have followed it. I just it's just being silly.
It just takes a little time. Okay, so under the scroll down a little bit. Scroll down.
Right.
Well, man.
Scroll
Okay.
down a bit. Oh, this is so
We'll
fun.
just talk you through it.
This is
Scroll
so
down a
fun.
little bit, and you should potentially see an option for email there.
Oh, I do. Not exciting. Okay, hang on.
And then you just type in wherever you want it to go. And then you get a test email and see if it works.
So I can just put in my email, like the email that I want it to send to. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Well,
And then click save and save.
okay. All right. Well, that's all I need to do. Okay, that's all I needed to know.
Yeah. And then give it a test. So just make sure that it's working. Send yourself something from the front side.
Maybe I'll just do it to a different address then, just to make sure that works. Because then I can check. I'll just use my regular. I thought it was going to be harder than this.
Nope. Woo! Yay, Divi.
Okay, so now I go to my front end.
You want to save the whole page first.
Oh.
Before you go to the front side. Should be up on the right-hand side a little bit more.
Date.
You can stop. Yeah, if you stop sharing, it'll probably let you go there.
I just need to say update, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Now it's editing.
Now you can click view page.
So exciting. Okay.
And then you can send yourself a message.
Or maybe I can, and maybe I can't.
Yeah, you might have to stop screen sharing. The bandwidth is
Very weird. Because I can screen share quite nicely with them.
well, it's about the perfect time for the whole world to be on the internet before bed, you know, post dinner gaming time for all the kids.
Okay.
Okay,
All right, so I should get an email. That's exciting.
there you go.
Oops. And to be able to change that quickly too, so you could send it to whatever
Yeah.
email you want.
Yep.
That's very nice to know.
There you go.
And where are you? Maybe it's gone to my spam folder.
And it'll take a few minutes probably as well.
Okay.
Okay.
Well,
Is there more you want to tackle, or should we hit stop sharing?
I think that's all I need right now, because I did set up the other thing before, the email opt-in. So I don't know why it's not working this time, but it's just me. I'll figure it out. I think it's because I'm sleep deprived.
That's a thing.
It's
The
a
whole
thing.
time change, holy cow, that's not our friend.
Not my
Wrong direction. Wrong direction. Alyssa, did you have anything in particular you wanted to chat about this day, or Leslie?
Nothing in particular.
No.
I was just happy you're back.
Thank you. I am also very happy I'm back. Yeah, we'll be business as usual come Monday. The movers bring the rest of our stuff tomorrow morning. And then I can unpack the rest of the office. Right now, it's like whatever would fit in a laptop bag is what I have. So, yeah.
So have you moved it because you sold your place?
No, a flood destroyed our apartment a few days ago. So we are in a rental for the next 12 months or so while they rebuild our house. The building deal fell through about 48 hours before the flood, and we got notification about 5 hours after the flood. So as it happened, it's not at all what we were expecting in so many ways. Yeah, when it was a city water main burst, and that's what caused the flood, as opposed to something in our building, which is actually better. So
so now the city has to fix it.
The insurance.
Oh, insurance.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
So yes, that was not what we had planned.
How many apartments got flooded? Like everybody?
15 out of 61 were impacted, but I think only 5 are complete rebuilds, and ours is one of those 5. So
lucky you.
Yeah, it kind of is actually, because we get a whole new house, and
There's
so even though we're not moving, but we're living in a beautiful Yaletown apartment on the insurance company's dime while they rebuild our home for the next 12 months. So it could definitely be
minor,
like being on vacation.
Everything destroyed.
Yes. Yes. I'm not focusing on that. I'm like, okay, I have flip-flops and high heels right now. I think I better go buy some new boots tomorrow. We have a couple things that are just weird. But yeah, I mean, whatever. My cherry velvet dresses are fine, and I save my flu bogs. Everything else.
There you go. The flu bogs are good. Then that's all really that matters.
The brand new laptop I just bought like 10 days ago is fine. Jared's is toast. His iPad is toast. We like so much stuff. Most of our furniture is gone, but I kind of don't care. That's why we had like IKEA stuff, and any of the special things. Like I have the hope chest my brother made me when he was 16, and I have the desk my dad made my grandma when he was 16. So like those things are real wood, and so there's a restoration company that is going to refinish them and like fix them for us. And so they're actually going to come back better than new. I'm like they'll be, because those are old pieces that have moved so many times, and the lady's like, I'm going to flag these for restoration, and they're going to be beautiful when they come back. I'm like, thank you.
That's awesome.
So yeah, anyway.
Silver lining.
We're back in our old neighborhood where the Starbucks I used to work at when we first moved to Vancouver 15 years ago is out my window. That's my Starbucks now. So full circle. And I get my bike back. It's been in storage for 3 years because it's a single speed cruiser, which on New West Hills is not a thing you're going to do. But now we're right on the seawall is outside the window. So now I can ride my bike again, and we're just going to enjoy the next year of not having as much stuff.
Yeah, way easier to clean.
Right? Yeah. Oh,
I
muted.
It's like Marie Kondo, like to the extreme.
Yeah, well, we were having a good laugh because as we're trying to decide what to pack up, it's like, oh, this like contaminated water-soaked slipper, not sparking joy. Yeah, so there was a certain amount of, sitting on the deck in tears as the snow was coming down. And I was like, but our bedding quilt is destroyed. Jared managed to find a restoration company like 10 minutes later who came and picked it up, and they think they can fix it. So like everything else is just stuff. But I was still pretty sick from the shingles. So I was not in a good place for a couple days.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, but rains, it pours, right?
Yeah.
In your case.
We have a home now, and we're pretty settled in, and like I said, it'll be back to normal on Monday. So I just need a couple more days to unpack the rest of the things, and we have to wash. Like I've been doing laundry since Saturday because we had to wash every single thing we own. They spray all this antimicrobial crap, and it stinks. I said to the girls, it's like someone died and stored them in a dentist office. Like that's the combination of smells. It's just so I'm getting lots of good fodder for writing books.
There you go. Bright light.
Yeah, right?
I do actually, now I've thought of a question.
Yeah.
How do you balance reading and writing and all the business stuff? Like, do you with all your goal setting, do you have like a quota of reading, or do you have
Yes, I do. A couple different things. Every morning my alarm goes off half an hour earlier than it needs to, and I read in my coziest chair and pajamas nonfiction for half an hour. Because that guarantees me enough incoming new information that I'm reading about one nonfiction book, sometimes 2 a week, depending on how long they are and if I get sucked in. So I get BookBub alerts every day of nonfiction in the categories that I'm interested in, and I try to buy them for $2. So otherwise, that's a really expensive habit. So yeah, every morning I try to read at least half an hour of that, and then I always read to go to sleep, and I read on the train. So I read fiction before bed always. And if I'm commuting to anywhere, I try to take the train or the bus or the C bus or the little aqua ferry or whatever, so that I can read while I'm traveling. And then that's like my bonus time. And also Sundays are unscheduled. So whatever is going to spark joy is what Sunday gets to be. And if I wake up and all I want to do is read a book for the entire day, that's what I will do, because it's kind of my recharge. And the writing, same thing. Like I schedule in a certain amount each day of writing time. Usually the hour-long writing sprints in the morning are nonfiction writing. And then the fiction writing is usually right after I go for a walk in the afternoon or in the evenings, depending on what else is going on. And again, like the weekends are my time. So usually there's a writers group meeting or something on Saturdays. Often we're teaching at conferences or whatever, and those are usually Saturdays. And I try to keep Sunday 100% appointment free. And I usually don't go online if I can manage it, just because I find that's like just a fresh reset. Yeah. So yeah.
I've been trying to like reward myself with writing by reading, but then I find myself getting sucked in and unable to put the book down and go back to writing.
Yes. Yeah. I use reading as a reward if I have a project, like, because I still do client work for our business as well. And so I also use reading as a reward, but I'll do the Pomodoro timers. So like I have an app on my computer and it will go for 25 minutes. And if I have focused all 25 minutes, I get 5 minutes of reading time, and then I go back to it. But because I know another one's coming in 25 minutes, it's not as hard to stop. Yeah. And sometimes if it's a really great book, I take a day off regardless of what else I'm supposed to be doing, and I just read the book. And I think that's as important as anything else. Is like, I'm all for spreadsheets and schedules and everything else, but sometimes that's not what you need to do. So, you know, sometimes you just have to trust yourself. If it feels like a day or two where what you need is like a cozy blanket, a cup of tea, and you need to read for a day or two to get your head right. Like for me, that's sort of therapy. Is if things get too overwhelming and I get too stressed, I will start a book and I won't look up even until it's done. And that's like my regrouping. And so I have certain authors I save for that, because I know that they can suck me in enough that it'll work and it'll give me like the break that I need. So yeah, I think, you know, when you see a habit or something that you're not loving about your life, then it's useful to make an intentional change. And often that does mean, for me, it's timers, or like I have my little checklist where I get to color in the green squares if I do the things every day that I'm trying to build into my habits, right? But I only put stuff on there that I'm trying to make a new habit of. And then it's not like everything's on a checklist, because that starts to feel really rigid and a little bit over-structured and like not creative and fun and sparking joy, if we're gonna go in that direction. So only the new stuff you're trying to add that you're not already excited about doing is what really needs to go on there. And then you just need to give yourself permission to still enjoy the fun parts. And like, you know, I haven't read a word for almost 2 weeks, because when I had the shingles, I couldn't look at a screen without a blinding headache. And so that's maybe the longest I've ever gone without reading or writing anything. And I've been almost entirely offline. I would log into my email for like 5 minutes just to tell my mom I was still alive, and then to make sure the insurance company papers were getting processed. But it was a very interesting experience to disconnect for that long. I missed you guys. Turns out my entire social life is like my writer friends, and we all live in this little box on our desks. And so that was super isolating and very strange to be completely disconnected from all of that for quite that long. And you get distracted and busy and whatever, but it will be very interesting having that sort of universal reset button having been hit to now build new patterns, and not just new patterns, but in a new home with different stuff. And, you know, things as simple as like, it took me half an hour to figure out how to use the laundry machines. There are like so many buttons. Oh my God. So stuff like that, where you've got to like refigure everything out. And, you know, my book launch had to be canceled because it was supposed to launch this week. Like there's a lot of stuff that just couldn't happen the way it was going to, but, you know, I'm still a writer. It will still launch. It's going to be 2 weeks later, but does anybody actually care in the grand scheme of things? Like, no, it doesn't. And maybe it'll do even better because spring break will be over. I don't know. Like it's hard to know kind of why these things happen or what the ripple out effects are. But I think anytime we're looking at like breaking from our usual routines or trying to make those decisions about like, it's really responsible if I keep going towards these goals, ultimately the goals are there to make us happy, right? We've set them because we think accomplishing them is going to make our lives better in some way, or to make us feel good about what we're doing, or feel good about ourselves, or, you know, get that sense of accomplishment, or connect with readers. Like whatever it is that our to-do lists have on them is because we thought that was a good idea. But like we are the author of the books, we also get to decide what our own life looks like. And so I think sometimes we get trapped by the previous version of ourselves' intentions. And so really acknowledging that it's okay to change what you want. And it's okay to get that you set up what you set up before because that's what you needed to get you to the next step. But the next step looks different than we ever could have expected, because a week ago, had you said, what are you doing next week? I would have told you. And not a single thing on my calendar was on there. Like, you know, this, not what it looked like. So, you know, we can only set the intentions as well as we can. And yeah, conflicting priorities. Before Netflix, it was easier to read. That is a true story. I have actually intentionally avoided Netflix for periods of time, and I will, when our projector broke, because we didn't have a TV, we do now. We hadn't had a TV in like 20 years, but when our projector broke, we used to project Netflix onto the wall. We made a conscious decision not to buy a new one because we both were watching a lot of Netflix, and we stopped. And I wrote like 11 books that year instead of watching Netflix. And Jared designed like 2 games. And, you know, so it is a bit of a manner of like, okay, what am I going to do here? And how am I going to prevent myself from doing it if it's like an actual addiction? Because let's face it, they're designed to be binge watched. And the other thing we do is we actually put on the calendar, like if we have a whole free weekend, we might choose a show to binge watch from start to finish. And that is the plan for the weekend. And then there's no guilt involved. There's no like being tugged between 2 things or feeling like you should be doing something else so you're not even really enjoying it. Like that's no fun. So it's much nicer to just give yourself permission, and then you'll probably be sick of it. Like usually by the end of 2 days of whatever, I'm like, okay, I'm over that. Can we just like 2 more episodes? If it takes till 3 a.m, we got to finish this. I need my life back. Like, let's end this. Yeah. Okay. It is 8 o'clock. Yeah.
I listen to the books. That's one way I do it.
Mm-hmm.
I have them on audiobook, and I take when I take my dog for a walk, or when I'm doing things like that, cleaning the kitchen, I can read my books, because I have a full-time job, and I'm trying to write, and I'm trying, like it's just, yeah. So to get my books, that's the only way I can figure out how to do it.
I probably listen to 2 or 3 books for every book I actually read.
Yeah. I don't have the time, unfortunately.
And I find I cycle. So I will go in a reading binge and I'll read like a whole bunch. And that usually means I'm getting ready to write. Like I'm absorbing a bunch of things and processing, and it's kind of like downtime for my brain, I guess. In the reading, I mean, I read in the genres that I write in. So it's usually like small town contemporary romance that I'm reading. So it's not exactly, heavy processing capacity required. I call it brain candy, which is wonderful. And I love it. It's like you're reading it like watching a rom-com, right? It's just processing story. And other times I don't read a word, but I'll watch a ton of rom-coms just to like get the story groove or get the feel of it all, and that works really well too. Whatever seems like a good idea.
Speaking of small town stuff, small town contemporary, have you seen Debbie Maycomer? She's got a magazine out now.
A magazine?
Yeah. So I'll forward you this thing I got because I'm on her mailing list because I just wanted to see what she wrote in her mailing list. But she's got this magazine thing now. Very weird.
Interesting.
For $5 a month.
Huh.
And you can't get a subscription. You just have to pay for it monthly.
Weird. And it's like not through Patreon or anything. You just like.
Yeah, it's kind of I'll have to see what I can find if I can find that email again because I was like, oh, this is so weird. I've never seen such a thing. So.
And is it like a magazine from her town or?
I don't know. I haven't bought one. It's a brand new release. Let me send it to you. I'll forward it to you.
Okay. I have all the curiosities.
Yeah, I was just wondering what she would. Crystal, right? Crystal Stranahan.
Yeah.
Crystal Stranahan thing. So yeah. Anyway, I just thought that's kind of interesting. I just got it this morning. So it's the Welcome Home magazine, newest featured publication from Debbie Maycomer, and you can click there and it'll talk to you about all the stuff that's. Yeah. Anyway.
Fascinating.
We'll be creating a series of short stories that will revisit her characters and locations that you come to know and love. And so, yeah, she'll take you back to many characters from the dozens of books she's written. And, yeah, in all of the little towns that she's got, because she's had Cedar Cove, Rose Harbor, Texas, Dakota, Alaska. Yeah. Anyway.
Fascinating.
I just thought I'd share because I had not seen that before.
That's a new one.
Yeah.
Huh.
But she must have a reason.
I can see Crystal's like.
Yeah.
click
processing. All right. Well, I should go wash dishes. Try to unpack some.
Should you? But really, should you? No, I'm just kidding. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm kind of done with restaurant food.
Should I really?
Yeah. We had pizza for dinner. I'm over the junk food. I'm ready for like a smoothie and a salad for tomorrow. So, yes, it is time to do that. But thank you all for coming by. It was very nice to see all your shiny faces and be back amongst the peoples, all my happy peoples.
And we liked looking at your pretty lights behind you.
Yeah, yeah. And this was like odd mirrored dresser that came with the place that is like basically the furniture in here. Yeah.
Oh,
It gives you a view of it, right?
Yeah, well, it wasn't in here. It was actually in the living room, but it turns out the bar was saved and the tower of board games. And so those are coming with the movers tomorrow, and they will go in the other room where the boys hang out. At some point, we'll have Creative Academy drinks, and you guys can come and hang out, enjoy the view for real and whatnot. So, all right, I'll be back on Monday for all the regular stuff, and we'll see how it goes. Maybe I can sneak in a sprint at some point this week.
We'll see you on Saturday.
Yes, you will see me on Saturday. True story. Okay.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.